Love Ki Ghanti 1. You can't decide when it rings. Written by Mr. Deepak Satya. Chapter 77. The Plan. Tavleen lived in a bungalow-like house with her husband and son. She had taken this house on rent. The most beautiful part of this house was its terrace, from where both the city and the mountains were visible. Tavleen's husband Yusuf liked the terrace so much that he had made proper arrangements to sit on the terrace even in winter. Tavleen thought that after her son slept, she would sit on the terrace and talk to Yusuf. When Tavleen reached home in the evening, she came to know that guests had come to the house. Their childhood friend Bishanjit Singh II, aka Bishna from Punjab, had come to meet them with his family. Tavleen's husband Yusuf had hidden the news of Bishna's arrival to surprise her. Tavleen was so happy after seeing Bishna that she forgot all the problems of her work. As lovely as Bishna was, his wife was equally lovely. Their 2 daughters are more adorable than them. After meeting everyone, Tavleen felt that she was back in Punjab. Yusuf and Tavleen together prepared special Punjabi food which everyone ate with great enjoyment. At around 11 o'clock, Yusuf and Tavleen, along with their childhood friend Bishna, came to the most beautiful part of their house, i.e. the terrace. Bishna also found the terrace and the view from the terrace very beautiful. But he found his pair of friends to be the most beautiful ever. The pairing of Tavleen and Yusuf was Bishna's childhood dream. When Bishna became emotional, Yusuf hugged him. After that, all 3 started laughing and joking, remembering the good times of the past. In that conversation, Tavleen's madness of becoming an IAS was also discussed. While talking about his problems, Bishna made Tavleen feel shy. My shoulders hurt till today. I am sure that is why I did not grow very tall. When Bishna said, Tavleen laughed and hid her face. Yes, in your family it seems as if everyone is 7 feet tall. Because of me, your shoulders have become so strong that you are carrying the burden of your entire family. When Yusuf said this, Bishna glared at him and punched him on the back. Howling loudly, Yusuf went to Tavleen. Tavleen offered him her lap, and Yusuf immediately lay down on her lap. My younger daughter also wants to join the police like you. Really, Tavi, I feel very proud seeing you like this. It feels like I have become an officer. Bishna said emotionally. Seeing Bishna emotional, Yusuf got up and hugged him. Tavleen also became emotional. All 3 of them knew what Tavleen had endured to achieve this position. They had another confidant who had written Tavleen's story in a novel called Jico Sancho, calling it imaginary. The only aim of that writer was that girls should keep fighting to get their rights by taking a lesson from Tavleen's story. Just then Tavleen remembered Raju and Prashant. Man, a strange thing happened today, Tavleen said emotionally. Then she told them about Raju and Prashant. Which cereal did you say? Bishna asked. I think it is fur, said Tavleen. Oh my God, the cereal of Gops, such fun. I must say those boys are absolutely right. There should be a branch of police like this also. Bishna said very happily. Tavleen was so impressed after hearing the praise from Bishna that she watched the fur serial for the next 3 days. I think Bishna is right. If common people take help from the police, they get trapped. If they don't take help, they get trapped. If the police become like this Chandramukhi Shatala, then so many unnecessary fights will end, said Yusuf, holding his sleeping son in his lap. But we policeperson cannot do all this in real life. There are rules, and we have to follow them. Tavleen said, and Yusuf laughed. Seeing Yusuf laughing, Tavleen also laughed because she knew why Yusuf was laughing. If Tavleen had been following the rules, she would not have been transferred again and again. The incidents that happened in the context of Garikpal themselves were testifying to this. When SP Tavleen Kaur was forced by law to release potential rapists like Garikpal and Ashish, she decided that like always this time also she would have to punish the criminals. After this she searched the call details of Garikpal and Ashish, and came to know about the supplier of chitta. 15 days after the park incident, SP Tavleen Kaur met the chitta supplier in disguise and told him that the police were waiting for the boys to come out of the hospital. After that, the police will torture boys and somehow get your name. After scaring the chitta supplier a lot, Tavleen also put an idea of escape in his mind. If you want to escape, kill the witness. Beat him, as if he has accidentally committed suicide. As shortly as he comes out of the hospital, he will definitely come to you for chitta. Then you have to convince him to take an overdose, Tavleen said. After that, the police kept the numbers of Ashish, Gurikpal, and the chitta supplier under surveillance. The chitta supplier changed his number the very next day, but the other two did not. Due to the changed number, Gurikpal could not ask for chitta in the hospital. But as shortly as he started going home, Tavleen's husband Yusuf disguised himself as a drug addict and gave him a new number of chitta supplier. After that, Tavleen and Yusuf eagerly waited for a phone call. They knew Gurikpal and Ashish would call to chitta supplier. When Gurikpal called Ashish, the police were listening. As shortly as Ashish refused, Tavleen became convinced that Ashish had improved, so Tavleen gave up her intention of killing him. 2 hours later, Gurikpal called the chitta supplier and scared him. He did not want to kill Gurikpal, but Gurikpal had called for his own death. A meeting was held in the evening at a deserted place, whose address Tavleen gave to Yusuf. Yusuf reached there before time. Therefore, when the conversation between Gurikpal and chitta supplier took place, Yusuf easily recorded it. "Brother, why is the thing's price cheaper this time, whereas its rates have increased?" Gurikpal asked, because as per the plan the chitta supplier had sold him chitta at a 20% cheaper price. "Paji, you are a regular customer, hence I am giving you the rate which is applicable for this item, while I am charging much more than this from others. Actually, the thing is that the Negroes were caught at the airport. The stock was less and the order was more, so the owners added some other stuff in it," said the chitta supplier. "Hey man, does this mean the thing is fake?" Gurikpal said in distress. "No sir, if you want then get it checked by the police. The material is genuine, but a bit light. The same sir that was earlier produced by taking 1 dose will now be produced by taking 3 doses. Don't say anything further. I have already reduced the rate and will not reduce it further. And Paji, this is less only for you. In the locality, ask anyone, I have not sold them less than 8,000 rupees for 10 grams, whereas I have not even told them the truth that I told you," the chitta supplier said while blinking his eyes. Gurikpal still gave him 2,000 rupees less and went off to have fun. Everyone thought that Gurikpal would use chitta and die somewhere on the way, but he went to his bedroom and did drugs, which is why his body kept decomposing for 2 days. The chitta trader thought that the person who had trapped him was dead. The very next morning, the police got the video recording of that Satan's slave from some unknown source. The police picked him up and started interrogating him so that he could get his racket out of Uttarakhand. Woman SP Tavleen Kaur was sure that no big businessman would come out on the streets to sell chitta himself. Its supply chain is built by poor people who enter this business on the pretext of poverty. She believed that if every poor supplier was killed, the chitta would remain rotting in the main go-downs but would never come to the streets for sale. Ashish got a chance and he improved. This means that he wants to live. That's why he was saved from dying at my hands. You also got a chance but you did not improve. You changed your number and continued your business. This shows that you have no desire to live. Therefore I will have to fulfill this wish of yours. Now tell me, how will you die? If you die after eating stale food, your life insurance money will be given to your family members, but if I kill you, I will prove your death to be suicide, and then your family will also have to die by consuming poison due to poverty," Tavleen said. She was given the freedom to choose the option of death to chitta supplier, who came out on bail. The day the chitta supplier asked for fresh food while in police custody citing his weak digestive system, it was decided that he would die of food poisoning. Special people in the police department used to call Tavleen Goddess of Death, because wherever she went, the dangerous criminals of that area would either commit suicide or their associates would kill them and become fugitives. This was also known to the local crime reporter, who had given a warning to the national reporter outside the park. Every department in Bharat is full of corrupt people. They not only themselves do this, but also teach criminals how to take advantage of the loopholes in the system. There are such good people present in every department of Bharat, who, if they get a good environment in the morning, will stop doing all the wrong things by afternoon. For many such people, IPS Tavleen Kaur was not the goddess of death, but for them she was the goddess of justice. The local crime reporter also considered SP Tavleen Kaur as the goddess of justice, hence when he investigated every case, he used to secretly give information to Tavleen Kaur about those small pieces of evidence, on the basis of which some very smart police officer or the crime reporter would have understood that these were not sudden murders, accidents, or suicides but planned murders. Yes, when good people themselves are unable to change the system, then at their respective levels they support those brave men and women who make sure that justice will be done, so that some criminal gets attached to their human life and stops committing crimes. Put him to sleep on the bed, Tavleen said while controlling her laughter. He has his father's DNA, he is acting like he is sleeping. Saying this, Yusuf tickled his son and the little boy laughed. He said that he would play with Didi, i.e. Bishna's daughter. Go and spoil the sleep of my friend. Saying this, Yusuf sent his son away. Hey, what are you doing? When Tavleen spoke angrily, Yusuf asked her to keep quiet. Within a short time, sounds of children laughing started coming. Oi, I had taken the contract for you, not for your son. Take him away. Bishna shouted and Yusuf laughed like a child. Grow up, Yusuf, said Tavleen laughing. You also grow up a little. If you devote even half of your mind to sending the dreaded criminals to Yamaloka, to the idea of this fur, a lot will change for the better in society. When frustration starts rising at small levels, then a person starts becoming a criminal mentally. I do not say this, but your favorite writer Kapil Maudgil says this. Yusuf explained, taking her in his arms. But this is very risky. What if someone complained? When Tavleen said, Yusuf laughed again. Tavleen also laughed. They hugged each other, and both of them started smelling each other. Well done, we have come to celebrate the holidays, but you guys enjoy. This won't work when I am here, Bishna said irritably, and sat down after switching on the TV. Tavleen started moving away, but Yusuf did not let her go. After some time, Bishna folded his hands in front of both of them. Friends, don't spoil the mood. Here I am waiting to hold the hand of my own wife from centuries, and both of you, Bishna said. Saying don't cry, come here. Yusuf called Bishna near him. When Bishna went near him, Yusuf hugged him with his second arm, and said something in his ear, hearing which Tavleen immediately gave a reaction of disgusting. See, this will be the result, Bishna said, scared of Tavleen's reaction. Hey, how do these police people know how to run a house? You tell me whether you trust your brother or not, Yusuf said. When Bishna looked at Tavleen, he shook her head no. Waheguru, saying this, Bishna went away. Tavleen was surprised. He trusts you blindly, said Tavleen. Madam, you also trust me, you will become my fan when the result comes. Saying this, Yusuf kissed Tavleen.